Hide-and-seek sheep. The best shepherdess in all the land also happened to be the smallest. People called her Little Lori. She was so much stronger than she looked. She would fight lions and wolves and bears any time to protect the flock. Because she was brave and strong, people paid her to look after their sheep. But Lori also had a sheep of her own, a tiny lamb named Maple. One day, as Lori was in the fields, two men on horseback came riding up to her. They stopped and explained that they were princes. They asked Lori about her two sisters. The princes were planning on marrying her sisters, but they had heard troubling rumors about them. They heard the two sisters were evil. Lori told the princes that the rumors were all true and that they should not marry her sisters. If they did, she feared for their lives. "What do you mean?" asked one of the princes.
"This is not the first time my awful and terrible sisters have married. 2 years ago, they both married rich earls. A few weeks later, their husbands mysteriously disappeared. Last year, they married rich dukes. Again, their husbands disappeared a few weeks later. I fear if you marry my sisters, a similar fate awaits you both,"
Lori explained. The two princes listened to Lori's advice and called off their engagement to the sisters. When they heard this, the evil sisters were furious. They were already rich, but they wanted to be rich princesses who lived in a castle and wore tiaras. Now they had lost their chance. The sisters decided they would have their revenge. Lori was poor, but the sisters knew she had one thing she treasured more than anything else. When Lori couldn't find Maple, she realized her evil sisters had stolen her lamb. Lori knew where she would probably find her. Not far away, a magician lived in a castle made of glass. The magician did not like to be bothered. For this reason, only a few people dared to visit him. He had the power to turn people into stone just by snapping his fingers. The stone contained a powerful magic so that when people were transformed, they were unbreakable, and no one but the magician could set them free. Lori had heard that her evil sisters knew this magician. She decided to go to him and find out if he had Maple. When she entered into the glass castle, she saw many stone statues arranged all around. In one hall, there were stone soldiers arranged as though they were fighting. In another hall, there were stone statues of people dancing at a ball. Lori found the magician sitting on a throne in the main hall. It took a few moments for him to notice Lori, for he was staring blankly at the large mirror beside him.
"Who is this?"
he asked once he noticed her.
"A shepherdess? I have stone shepherds, but no shepherdess. I'm creating a new exhibit called Rustic Charm. You would fit in perfectly."
"I did not come here to be turned into stone."
"Then explain yourself, quickly, and don't bore me."
"I'm looking for my lamb. My sisters stole her, and I think they sold her to you."
"Yes, I know your sisters. You must be the runt of the family. You're just as small as I imagined. Well,"
he sighed,
"they did sell me a sheep. I've already turned it to stone and added it to my rustic charm collection."
"You must give her back to me."
"Don't be so pushy."
he complained.
"That lamb was stolen. It wasn't theirs to sell. I will pay back whatever price."
"Really? Whatever price? Well, this is becoming more interesting."
The magician snapped his fingers, and the stone lamb appeared in front of Lori.
"Is this your friend?"
Yes, Maple!
The magician snapped his fingers again, and the lamb vanished before Lori could embrace her.
Where did you take her?
I'll tell you what I'll do.
The magician answered.
Let's make a game of this. It will help me not feel so bored. You have to find your lamb. I'll even tell you where I've hidden her. I put her in the house of the fairies. If you bring me your lamb by the end of the day, I'll change her back. If you cannot, I will keep her and also turn you into stone.
I do not accept this deal. Maple is my lamb, not yours.
Lori protested.
Oh dear, you misunderstand me. I wasn't giving you an option. I will turn you into stone, so you'd better scamper away and find your little Mabel, Marple, whatever silly name you gave her.
Lori rushed out of the castle. The magician smirked, but he was still bored. He snapped his fingers again, and Lori's two evil sisters appeared before him.
What do you want?
The awful sister demanded.
You two are becoming a disappointment.
The magician complained.
First, you promised me 2 princes I could add to my Hall of Royals collection. Alas, now the hall is incomplete.
But...
No, don't interrupt. You also sold me a lamb that isn't yours. Don't you know stealing is wrong? And now your little sister came to bother me. I had to tell her I would give her the lamb back if she could find it. Suppose she does find it, I'll be short another statue. You need to find a way to stop her, and you must also make it interesting.
we know how to stop her,
said the terrible sister.
There is a creature who despises her as much as we do. His name is the Big Bad Wolf. I'm sure he will help.
Oh yes, I have the Big Bad Wolf. He's in my room of predators. I suppose I could undo the spell and let him free for this task.
The magician snapped his fingers, and a large stone statue of a wolf appeared. The magician snapped his fingers again, and the stone crumbled, allowing the wolf to escape. He shook the rubble off his mangy coat and cracked his neck.
Listen, Big Bad Wolf,
the magician said.
If you can find and eat little Lori, you will be set free.
Hey man, I don't actually eat humans anymore, explained the wolf. For some reason, they go straight to my hips, so I started this new diet.
Unless you desire to be turned back into stone, you will do as I command.
Well, I guess I can have a cheat day.
The wolf ran out of the castle to catch Lori. The magician told the two evil sisters not to leave. He looked into his magic mirror and saw Lori running through the woods. A wicked grin stretched across his face. This might become interesting after all. Lori ran for a while before stopping to catch her breath. She stood still for only a minute before she heard a low growl coming from the bushes.
Who is there?
She asked.
It is I, the dragon of the woods,
said a voice. Lori's nose twitched, and she sniffed.
Big Bad Wolf, I know it's you.
The wolf stepped out from the bush.
Hey, little Lori, how's it going? How did you know it was me?
I could smell you. You always smell like greasy bacon.
Oh yeah, it must be my conditioner. It's nice, right?
Not only is it 100% inorganic, it's also vegan.
Bacon grease isn't vegan. And you would not be vegan anyway. You're a wolf. You try to eat my sheep all the time.
Yeah, but I'm still a vegan because I don't eat cows. I only eat sheep and pigs and chickens and marshmallows.
Listen, Wolf, I don't have time to talk. I have to go.
Oh, about that, I'm afraid you can't. The magician will turn me back into stone unless I eat you. It's a total bummer.
I thought you were a vegan.
I'm prepared to make an exception.
At least give me a 10-second head start. Close your eyes and count to 10.
I guess I could do that. You have little legs. You're not going to run very far.
He closed his eyes.
10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 2, 6, 3, 1.
The wolf counted. The big bad wolf opened his eyes and tried to jump, but discovered he was stuck. Laurie had tied his long tail around a small tree, and the wolf was not good with knots. It took him 10 minutes to untie his tail and chase after her. By that time, Laurie was almost at the house of the fairies. But just before she reached the house, Laurie's nose twitched, and she sniffed. She smelled greasy bacon again. She turned around and saw the wolf running towards her. She held on tightly to her shepherd's staff just as the wolf jumped. Laurie leaped out of the way and smacked him with her staff, hitting the wolf's front paw.
Ow!
He shouted.
My toes! Not cool! Why do you always hit my poor toes?
I don't have time for this, Wolf.
Laurie warned.
I need to find my lamb before the end of the day. Get out of my way, or I will hit your other paws as well.
The wolf skulked away as Laurie knocked on the door. The fairies let her inside. She told the fairies she was looking for her lamb. The fairies said she was welcome to look throughout their whole house, but she was not to open the blue door. That door led to the pancake room. No one was allowed to enter. Laurie searched the whole house except the pancake room, but could not find Maple. You can probably guess where the magician put her lamb, can't you? Well, Laurie figured it out as well. So she stepped up to the blue door and turned the creaky handle. She peeked inside, but saw nothing. Then she stepped in and looked around. She didn't see her lamb anywhere. She also didn't see any pancakes, so she didn't know why it was called the pancake room. As she wandered around the room and walked around the corner, she found Maple's stone statue. Suddenly, the door slammed shut, and Laurie heard an ominous voice.
You were warned not to enter this room. Now you shall become as flat as a pancake.
The wall started moving. Frightened, Laurie dashed towards the statue of Maple. She wrapped her arms around it and pulled, but although Laurie was strong, she was not strong enough to lift it. She leaned back and began to slowly drag Maple towards the door. The walls were squeezing closer and closer together, and she was running out of space. She wouldn't be able to make it to the door in time unless she abandoned Maple, which was something Laurie would never do. All the while, the magician was watching Laurie struggle from his magic mirror. He was quite amused. The evil sisters looked into the mirror, and they were also happy to be rid of Laurie. As the walls around Laurie and Maple drew closer, the magician snapped his fingers and turned Laurie into a stone statue. He did not want her to get squished. That would ruin the look of the statue. The walls continued closing in, but then stopped. They could not squish the unbreakable stone statue. This created a magical paradox. The walls were supposed to squish anyone that entered, but the magical stone statues were unbreakable. The walls burst apart and the stone crumbled. The magic spells had reversed each other. Laurie and Maple were free, and the walls could no longer hurt them. The magician snapped his fingers again, and Laurie appeared before him holding her lamb. Her sisters scowled in disappointment.
This was not what I planned,
He stated.
You broke your word.
Laurie frowned.
You said you would give me until the end of the day before you turned me to stone.
So, you shouldn't have believed me. Didn't your mother ever tell you not to trust strangers? I shall deal with you momentarily.
The magician snapped his fingers, transforming Laurie's two evil sisters into stone.
They were becoming a disappointment,
The magician explained. Laurie's nose twitched, and she sniffed.
What about the big bad wolf?
She asked.
Were you planning to keep your promise to him?
I don't make promises with shaggy wolves. He can return to my collection where he belongs.
Suddenly, the wolf jumped out from behind the throne and swallowed the magician in just one bite. The wolf and Laurie then called a truce and went their separate ways. He went to find a chicken dinner, and he never attacked Laurie or her sheep ever again. Laurie and Maple returned home happily, and, of course, lived happily ever after. The end.